At 236 Fig Tree Avenue, in a second-floor apartment, Ivy, Ringo and Kenny were stuck inside. The whole city was on lockdown. Ivy, Ringo and Kenny were not happy.
Kenny had just started at kindergarten and he was missing his friends.
Ringo used to wave to an old man walking his dog every morning before school. But now there was no school and no old man walking by.
"Oh, I'm so bored," grumbled Ivy.
"Oh, good," said Mum, looking up from her work. "It's a right and a privilege." The kids hated it when she said that. This was not what everyone wanted to be doing.
Ivy wandered into the kitchen and made herself a very messy peanut butter and honey sandwich, but didn't bother cleaning it up. Ants soon invaded the kitchen to snack on crumbs and honey puddles.
Mum wondered how ants found their way to the second floor so quickly.
Ringo flopped down at the piano and played the same song over and over again, with the volume turned up all the way to 11.
Poor Mum couldn't hear herself think.
Just then, Kenny whizzed down the hallway on his skateboard, which was totally out of bounds.
"Oh, come on, guys," Mum said in her slightly more stern than normal voice. "Find something fun to do together, and Kenny, you know that is not okay." She was going a bit bonkers.
What could they possibly do? They dawdled back towards their room when Kenny noticed the sticky tape was left out. A naughty look crept over his face. He ripped off a piece and giggled as he handed it to Ringo, who knew precisely what Kenny was thinking.
Ringo and Kenny loved to chase Ivy and press sticky tape into her hair. Off they took, thundering down the hallway, into their room, over the bed, slamming the doors, shrieking and laughing. Then back down the hall again. They skidded around the corner and barreled into the kitchen.
Thump! Ivy tripped over the open dishwasher drawer. Thump, thump! Ringo and Kenny tripped over Ivy and they all landed in a pile on the floor at Mum's feet.
"Enough!" yelled Mum. "That's it!" Everyone had to sit on the couch for a long, hard think, while Mum disappeared into her room and shut the door.
It seemed they were really in a lot of trouble, and come to think of it, Mrs. Jones on the floor below was probably about to call Mum to complain about all the hullabaloo.
After what seemed like an hour, Mum came back in looking a lot less cross. It turned out that Mum just needed a little bit of time to think about it all too.
"Okay, my little treasures," she said, "we have to figure out a way for us to get through this together. So I am setting you a task. You have to think of something kind to do and go and work on it together."
Ivy, Ringo and Kenny did not like this idea much at all, but they were still in quite a bit of trouble, so they thought they had better get on with it.
They spent an hour busily cutting, colouring and gluing. When they were finished, they had created a beautiful vase of flowers made from cardboard and paper. Attached was a note that read, "Sorry about all the noise. We hope you are doing okay."
"It's for Mrs. Jones downstairs," Ivy told Mum. "We thought she might be glad to get a present."
They tied some string onto their creation and carefully lowered it down to the balcony below, while Mum proudly watched from inside.
For the first time in weeks, Mrs. Jones opened the door and stepped into the balcony. She read the note and looked up to the 3 eager faces above.
Nice.
Oh, thank you so much, she exclaimed. These are the most beautiful flowers I have ever seen. This is just made my day.
Ivy, Ringo and Kenny quietly went back in, feeling warm inside with big smiles on their faces. One day soon they would not be stuck inside anymore.